Op, op, Oppenheimer style. I'm not keeping that in the video. Oppenheimer is the latest film by Christopher Nolan. He is, of course, the director of movies like Inception, The Prestige, the Dark Knight trilogy, the movie where Matthew McConaughey is sad about corn. One of the most celebrated directors working today, right? He's back with a movie about Oppenheimer, the guy who built the atomic bomb, or, I mean, he didn't build it by himself. He, of course, had help, but he was the main guy in charge. The movie's about him. My feelings are a little complicated about this movie. At the very least, this is a very effective piece of art, right? Like, I enjoyed watching this movie. The reason why I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it is because me personally, and I acknowledge, I am an idiot. I had a bit of a rough time following the movie. It's the pacing is it's 3 hours long. The pacing is surprisingly at a breakneck speed. It's like scene after scene after scene after scene, line of dialogue after line of dialogue after line of dialogue, and it's like if you miss one thing, you're kind of lost. And the structure is also very chaotic. Like it follows different stages of Oppenheimer's life, and one scene will be one time period, then it'll skip ahead in time, then it'll go back, then it'll go somewhere in between, and it was just hard for me to like keep track of what was happening at all of these different stages of his life, and it was very very fast, very very quickly paced. And I mean, that's good to a certain extent because it's a 3 hour movie and I was never bored, right? Like, I was never not invested. I was locked in because I had to be if I was going to understand what was happening. So it's not a bad thing necessarily, but I feel like I have to watch it again in order to really like wrap my mind around it. Um, but I mean, other things that I can compliment the movie on, it's shot extremely well. I mean, it's a beautiful looking movie. The imagery that they managed to do, in order to invoke that feeling of atomic bomb bad, is very effective. The music is wonderful. It's it's really funny. It's like the movie, the majority of the movie is just people talking, and then they have this very like intense orchestral music, right, to create intensity. So the music was effective. Christopher Nolan said that he didn't use CGI in this, and I'm like, I don't know that I believe him. I mean, most of the movie is just people talking in rooms, so I totally believe that that's not CGI. But there are these moments where they show just like not just like explosions, but just like different graphical stuff of like, I don't know, like atoms doing random stuff, and I'm like, are you sure this isn't CGI? I don't know if I believe you, Christopher Nolan, but okay, if you say so. The performances are wonderful. Cillian Murphy plays Oppenheimer. He's amazing. Robert Downey Jr. plays a pretty significant role in this. He plays this guy who, again, this is where it gets confusing. It's like in one time period, he's like the dean of a university or something, and then it like skips ahead in time, and he's like a politician, and so that's where I was like kind of confused about what his deal was, but he's very good in it. He plays a very pivotal role. I mean, the cast is stacked. It's like Emily Blunt is here. She's really great. She plays Oppenheimer's wife. She has a really fantastic scene. You have Florence Pugh's in this. She's good. So many people. So many people. And all the performances are great. I'll address some of the controversies surrounding this movie. And to do that, I guess I'm going to spoil something that isn't in the movie. So if you don't want to hear about that, then maybe leave. But I don't think it's a spoiler because I'm just going to say something that's not in the movie. So what's not in this movie is anything regarding the perspective of the Japanese, right? Which is where the bomb was dropped in Japan. And I've been thinking about this, and I actually think that I don't think I mind the fact that their perspective wasn't included because this is a movie about Oppenheimer. It's from his perspective, so he wouldn't have necessarily witnessed that. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with them not being in it. Because I also think that that sort of adds to the lack of humanity from a lot of the like politicians and people involved in this movie, where like the movie manages to truly disturb you just because of the way that people treat the creation of the atomic bomb, where they're really just utilizing it to either like further their careers or further their, political ambitions. And the sort of lack of regard for the human beings that are at the end of this bomb, or that are at the that are the victims of the bomb, that lack of regard is haunting in and of itself. And I don't know, I appreciate the movie more for finding ways to horrify you than doing the easy way out, which is of course showing people dying from the bomb. Because by the way, there is graphic imagery in this for sure, but it's done in a way that is a bit more creative than I was necessarily expecting. Right? It's more creative than just showing the victims of the bomb, because I feel like we already, like, that's sort of the obvious way to go. It's like, yeah, we atomic bomb bad. I think we all know that. Overall, I enjoyed Oppenheimer. Definitely feel like I need to watch it again in order to sort of just absorb everything about it. But at the end of the day, atomic bomb bad. I think we can all agree on that. And yeah, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.